Hello everybody and welcome to a new series on the channel where we are designing custom investigators based on The Mummy. If you don't know, we're all big fans of the film The Mummy.
I've actually seen it several times.
Yeah, which is rare for Travis.
Yes, I don't usually watch movies.
At all.
Yeah, I have the...
Let alone more than once.
Nope.
I have the Imhotep pop figure that Bryn got me. And then I actually have the screenplay that my sister got me. I'm a big Mummy guy. I love it.
It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Mm-hmm. Some might say the perfect movie.
I would. It's the perfect movie about mummies.
So
what I've done is I've made just like some art for each of these. Well, not art, but I like edited these to make them look less just like screen grabs for these. But we have Rick O'Connell, Evelyn Carnahan. I know someone out there might be like, technically, she's married to Rick in the second movie, but we're focusing on the first movie. But then some of you might be saying, but just in this movie, this art is from The Mummy Returns. And I'm like, yes, but I had to find a full body, high quality picture of each of them. And this just happened to be from The Mummy Returns.
Okay.
So sorry. We also have Jonathan Carnahan, Ardeth Bay, and Benny Gabor. These are the classes that we kind of just felt they were all good in when we first put these together.
They mostly just kind of line up.
So we're going to just design one of them today in this video, and then we're going to do some videos for the others. So I have no plans for any of them.
Okay, good. Well, Evie probably does some kind of like relic and or tome things.
Yeah, agreed. I think Jonathan also is he should be big money focused because he likes getting money, but he also should have to do some sort of relic synergy to get there. I think that that's like the crossover between two of them is very similar for that.
Maybe he could have some kind of like Joey the Rat ability. You can discard an item to get money equal to like half its cost, and if it's a relic, he gets full cost or something.
I think Ardeth Bay should be a four-fist mystic. I think he should be combat oriented because he is in like pretty much every other picture I found of him. He has a fucking machine gun or a sword. So I think that should be the way to do this.
Yeah.
Benny, I don't think his ability. I think his ability should be enemy related. Right, like he should have some sort of thing where like he can use enemies or like avoid enemies, and he should definitely have charms in his deck building because of his necklace, right, where he has like all the different charms.
Agreed.
And Rick uses a lot of guns, so I think we could do something with firearms for him to kind of like while we don't want we want to obviously reference the movie and the characters, we also want to make like good investigators as well.
I think that for Rick also it would be on theme to have him be able to benefit from stuff like heroic rescue, toe-to-toe. Yep. Maybe something to do with like self-damaging.
Yeah.
A little bit. He also gets the shit kicked out of him
he does,
multiple times.
Yeah. Okay. We have like a good basis for. We don't have any ability. What would Ardeth's ability be? Because I think that Four Fist is a good place for him to start, but like.
What if Ardeth was like +1 fist for each empty arcane slot you have, and +1 brain for each empty hand slot you have?
Oh, interesting. Because
like he knows stuff, and then probably not full. He probably something similar like Michael McGlenn, where you only get purple 0-3, because he's not really actually a spellcaster, right?
Yeah.
But he knows lots about mysticism and magic and stuff.
Count, like dynamite as magic.
Yeah.
Which, sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from.
Yeah. I dig that.
Yeah, maybe like +1 to maybe the slot and hand slot thing, and then as a reaction, once per round, you can add your brain to a fist test you make. And then Mystic 0-3, like melee weapons 0-5.
0-5 melee. Yeah, that would make sense for him.
And like Guardian level 0 or something. We can or Tactic level 0 or something like that. Because he does show, like, he thinks about combat and stuff.
Yeah. He also has that hawk too, right? That he has. I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah, the bird's name is Horus.
Horus. That makes sense.
That could be his
His
personal.
signature is personal. Yeah.
Why don't we roll that then and see how that turns out?
Yeah, we can.
Give it a
There's
try.
no stuff here, Mr. Ardeth. Okay, let's start with the stat line. We can do this as well. So the ability, let's just put in this thing to start. You get +1 each empty hand slot. Get +1 calm for each empty arcane slot. And then you said like reaction ability.
Yeah, or like however, whatever it should be, but like once per
Yeah, I
once
need
per
to get
round,
like
you can add your brain to a fist
I need
test you
to
make.
this smaller.
Or once per phase, it could also probably be if it's like a lightning bolt.
Let me just. I like to get the. I can look at other card text. It'd probably be a reaction when a test begins.
It could be a lightning bolt and be like during a combat test.
Yeah, because then there's one
Or
of those
during
things.
a fight action.
During a because then like that works for you for using spells or.
Yeah, like a lightning
or a
bolt
weapon.
during a fight action. Add your brain to your skill value.
To your skill value.
Limit once per round or limit once per phase.
Yeah. I probably want to actually make that the fist, huh?
No.
Yeah.
I'll bring all the time. Yeah, I think that like for actual style, I think he sits pretty well at like probably 2 brain.
Yeah, because he'll start as a 4. If we do 2, he'll start at 4s.
Yeah, and then if you look
Yeah.
at using something like what's it called? Enchanted Blade is probably like ideal weapon for him.
Yep.
And that takes up 1 hand slot, 1 arcane slot, puts you at 3 brain, which is a fine number to be at, and you add +3 to your brain checks. And if you have a second weapon, then or if you have a second spell, I guess, you'll be at 4. No, you'd be at 4 punch, negatively 5 if you have an empty arcane.
I'm just going to get the text on one of these cards just to make sure I'm doing this right. SB, you have...
No, they should be switched. It should be you get +1 brain for each empty arcane slot, and you get +1 fist for each empty hand slot. I think. Because then when you're
Why?
using spells, it makes it more difficult to use the spells. We can have it set like 3, but if you like focus on combat, then and you leave your arcane slots empty, you're rewarded by being able to add your brain to your skill value for that test.
An alternative as well, what we could do is have it be like a reaction. That's like, instead of this during a fight action add, it could be like kind of like when you combine 2 skills, get a bonus as well. Like, and that could be something that he can go with this, because if he's trying to like spread between 2, we can maybe do something.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of ways to do that though. In the current card pool for Mystic and Guardian, right? It's mostly just the cycle of
Yeah, it's more rogue and mystic, it's true.
Yeah.
It's more rogue and mystic. I guess also question as because we don't need to settle on anything until we're like going for it, but what would be like a fantasy that you see for like Ardeth Bay? Like, well, I guess that's the question of like, what is he doing in a scenario to get things done? But beyond just like the card pool, right? Like, what is he hoping to achieve? Because like in the movies,
he spends a lot of time just holding off enemies
yep.
and providing
protection. He's
Backstory.
and backstory. He's good at drilling backstories. Yeah.
He's like, what do? I spout exposition about how you cannot kill the creature with mortal weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I think having decent will score is accurate to him.
Yeah, I think he's definitely like will.
Even when they're
calm.
being overwhelmed by the zombies, he doesn't shy away from it.
He probably has like low book and like pretty all right foot, because he is also very dexterous as well. He's like, with his way that he fights with that stuff.
Yeah, like a 3-2-4-3.
I think that's not bad to start. Like, Rick, get out of here! It's not your time. 3, 2. It's what do they normally add up to? I mean, that's what it adds up to. It adds up to 12.
He's probably.
So I think like Ardeth's stuff, we probably want to add up to like 10 because we're giving him bonus stuff.
If we do that one, yeah. If we do go this way, I agree. We definitely want him to have that.
To have like less
yes.
points base.
Yeah, if we do scaling.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, but let's just take this because I mean,
the downside to it is that like the scaling itself doesn't do anything, right? We see that with Calvin, and
so
I'm
gonna just put this in here. We can.
Yeah, but we get to play cards that do things when we succeed tests.
That is true.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right, because we're probably gonna be like purple and then like melee or whatever.
Most investigators' boxes give them an extra action though, and this effectively gives them an extra action. This doesn't. So.
Yeah, but
I mean, we could find like a better payoff here to get that as well, right?
Yeah, we could bump it down to like probably 2 brain or 3 fist, depending on how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I also think. Let me just check out Kelvin. I was seeing if there is like we could also put these together, and.
Just like a little bit cleaner templating.
Mm-hmm.
Does that look fine to you? You get +1 for each empty arcanist you have, and +1 for each. Or do you like the line break better?
I like the line break a little bit better. Because they're different. It works for Calvin because they're the same, relying on the same condition.
Yes. Yeah.
But for Ardeth, they are 2 separate.
Well, that's because these are actually like for these ones they're separate as well.
Yeah.
So I was just seeing if it could work. Because we also have to put his elder sign on, so we can see like context.
Yeah, I mean,
can you imagine if we just suddenly got away from us and we had like 3 extra cards for him? And everyone
We get to the end and we're like, we're monsters.
Yeah, everyone was like, practice what you preach.
No, they're all going to fit on 1 card.
Yeah, elder sign just +1.
Yeah. Just so there's +X.
Plus X number of empty slots you have.
So what I like about this is the dream of scaling, right? Where you just like, what can we, especially for, I do actually, for this, I actually think that this, your original idea, I think was nicer for the power fantasy of this.
It does kind of, each empty arcane slot, each empty hand, what?
This was the one that you originally had. So the idea is that like you're either like a spellcaster and your brain gets better, but your hands are empty, or your spell slots are empty, but you're like a more physical fighter.
It should be templated the other way though, because brain always comes before fist.
I agree. For each empty hand slot you have.
I can see the star being like +1, draw a card for each empty hand or arcane slot you have. It could be like +X. X is the number of empty slots you have. I kind of like the card draw.
I do too.
Because that's something that as a Guardian Mystic you're going to be excited about.
I feel like you have to always be happy to see your Elder Sign.
Yeah.
I think this probably could live as like a +0 kind of like Daisy.
Yeah, that's
because like your numbers are already also getting high. You're unlikely to need it. And then if you do fail, you're still gonna draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah, I mean, like this is like effect +0, probably draw 2 cards.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's like draw 1 to 3 cards. So
we probably could reasonably get 1 more line break one more line break before it starts to get bloated on the middle ability. So we could try to maybe find like a different payoff to this.
Maybe we want to. I mean,
I have an interesting thing as well.
Yeah.
What if it was like a lightning bolt, discard an asset you control, like just and then like gain an action, or like it's like something like that kind of thing where it's like you can empty a hand slot or an arcane slot at will, something like that.
Lightning bolt, discard an asset to get like twice the symbols on it to a test.
Yeah.
The supports are succeed by big number.
Yeah, I think that's more interesting than just like add your numbers together.
Yeah. Skill test, discard an asset. Control. Get plus X to this test, where X is the number of matching icons on the discarded. Skill icon, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just so far away. I'm gonna fuck up the. Oh no, that's too tight.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
During a skill.
Yeah, I mean, we can like give him a simpler star effect
Yeah.
to like clean up the.
Here, let me take a line break out.
Do we need to say you have for the star effect?
For instead that you control.
Yeah.
Discard an asset?
No, for the star effect, can it say just draw a card for each empty hand slot or arcane slot?
That does do it. So if we do, I do agree, you're right, Bren. We drop this down to like 10, right? We drop
Yeah.
like one from each of these.
Yeah, right.
Because
like
you scale
two,
up.
2, 3, 2, 3, like or whatever. Like that's fine.
Oh yeah, I guess it could be kind of like the Diana Stanley school, right? Or like his
Yeah,
stat
we're
line's
just-
better,
We're
but
just like shit, but
That's
like
Pretty bad though, I think.
yeah.
that's okay.
Do you think maybe going back to this and just having his combat be slightly better? But then,
I like that because that pushes you towards using the melee assets, which is what we want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you can use the spells, but you want to be using the combat stuff.
yeah, because so I guess the question is, if we make it 2-2-3-3, and we make him have melee on the like for his like level 0 to 5, are we only doing like melee for this? Is there a reason for the brain scaling, or should we do 3-2-3-2 to then also have potential for brain scaling being a thing as well? To have that be like easier to achieve in terms of like hitting the same level.
So personally, I hate the idea of him being able to play the Cyclopean Hammer.
Yeah.
But also, what are we gonna make a melee-focused investigator who can't play the biggest melee weapon in the game?
I mean, I think we could. We could feasibly do like melee weapons 0 to 4. Like it locks him out from some things, but he still probably gets enough in there
Yeah.
that he can do stuff with.
Yeah, and we could give him like a little bit more room at the bottom then. Like give him like tactics 0 to 1 or something.
Yep.
Yeah. What traits does he have? He's probably like Warden and Hunter or something like that.
That sounds perfect to me. Plus brain for each empty hand slot you have. Maybe what we could also do is there a way we could simplify this effect as well? Because I really like this, but if we make it easier,
Yeah, I mean,
we get like a cleaner looking card too.
Well,
Yeah, if
Arkham
we
doesn't
get,
usually use like plus X and then define X as magic templating.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can also just have it be like
You get plus
discard an asset you control that takes up at least one hand slot or one arcane slot to get like +2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you control, that takes up.
I like that, and then he can use that for like ram investigate or foot tests as well.
I have to look at the proper wording. What's a card that just gives like +2? Grim Memoir?
Look up the stupid Yithian.
The body of the Yithian?
Yeah.
+2 draw card. +2.
Sorry, what is this for?
Oh, I'm just getting the proper wording.
Oh, yeah.
You get +2 for this test. So during a skill test, discard an asset you control that takes up 1 hand or arcane slot. You get +2.
Takes up at least 1 hand or arcane slot.
So at least.
So we don't want to, because if it takes up 1 hand or arcane slot, then like you can't discard your enchant blades. It takes up 1 of each.
Yeah.
That's no bueno. Hi, Russell.
During a skill test, discard an asset you control.
Some pretty forceful petting.
I was stopping him.
I know.
Yeah. Because you're a ship disturber, aren't you? That's what
Man,
you do.
that sucks. That one word drop. The test drops it down, that extra line there. I like the other sign. I think the other sign's good. I think that's nice. And I like how there's some control to the scaling we have here. The other thing I wanted to do was also just look at the level 5 melee weapons.
Because like
So-
you can still play the paddle.
Yeah, so if we
You
cut
can't
him
play
out
the
of
butterfly swords,
and
you
he can't
play
get
the
runic
spear.
X to there to
Yeah.
10. I think going to 4 is probably
Fine.
nicer. I don't think there's too much difference in 4 for this, but
Especially if we give him neutral sort of 5, he still gets the
brand.
the paddle.
I like the idea of him using a chainsaw.
He would.
Yeah.
If that's what he had.
Yeah, I think going to 4 for that is probably okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I'm curious about. So actually, one thing we should do. Oh, frick me. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'll look at the melee 3 to 4. Him being able to play either Enchanted Blade is cool as well. The other thing I wanted to check was spell.
You don't have to say during a skill. We might be able to trim the wording on there.
Yeah.
Because well prepared says exhausted, choose an asset control. You get +X skill value for the skill test for X number of matching skill icons on chosen asset. We can probably say discard an asset you
Yep,
control
I think
takes at
you're
least 1 hand or
100%.
arcane slot. You get +2 for this skill test.
Discard an asset you control that takes up at least +1 hand or arcane slot. What does it say for the bottom ones? You get +2.
You get +X skill value for the skill test.
2 skill value.
You get +2 skill value for this skill test. Can we fit skill in there without dropping?
We can.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's good. So you get +1 brain for each empty hand slot you have. And you get +1 fist for each empty arcane slot you have. So lightning bolt, discard an asset you control that takes up at least 1 hand or arcane slot. You get +2 skill value for this skill test. I mean, I think that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I mean, also, if you give any mystic some sort of ability to discard things, they're instantly able to do doom stuff as well, which is super exciting. I don't know about you guys, but this 7/7 is working for me, but that might just be because it's been here for the whole time. What do you guys think?
I think he should probably be like an 8-6.
Yeah, I was
8-6?
feeling 8-6 as
Okay.
well.
Yeah. Like he's tough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it also like
But-
visually signals that like you are a fighter.
Yep. So what I did is I also looked at once again the trying to think of like if we want to keep him open, because right now we have him going 2 ways, right? Where like you can either fight with spells or you can either fight with melee weapons. If we give him melee 0 to 4, he can still be Mystic 0 to 3 to get spells. Most of the Mystic spells are within that area. I was just seeing if there was Mystics in 4 that were enough to like make it.
I mean, there's like the Edge of Air stuff and Rite of Seeking, I think, is most of it, but I think we don't want him to
Yeah,
have
that's
access to
yes.
that like top tier of spells because he's not a spellcaster.
Yeah, he doesn't get like the Shriveling, but he gets like the Mists and the Right and the Sixth Sense and the Wither, but that's not okay.
Yeah, I think like Mystic 0 to 3 and Melee 0 to 4 is good.
Yep. And I'm just looking at the. Oh, get out of here, old decks. I need you. I still need you up. 1 second. Let me just create shares before these disappear
Base 4
forever.
brain.
Yeah, because my thought was going back to the 3 brain to start. The nice thing about that again is like with you play the sword and the enchanted blade and you become a 4/4, right? And that's probably nice, right?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like the 3. I mean, yeah, the 3/2. Maybe he's just like. I mean, he could be 3s all across the board. Honestly, the difference between 2-book and 3-book probably doesn't matter.
He could be an all 3 investigator.
Yeah, you could also be an all 2 investigator, I think.
I think that's a lot more awkward. Because like if you have
Yeah, because 2s suck, don't they?
Gotcha!
yeah.
I mean, what if we do?
Well, I was thinking about like when you have when you have the 2 brain, you play an arcane, you play your spell or whatever. You don't have anything in your hand slots. You're at 4, and 4 brain's like not a great place to be. We definitely don't want to be at 2 fists because you're at 4 fists with no arcane slots in play, and we like want you to be able to play. Like if you're at all 2s, and you play Enchanted Blade, you're an all 3 investigator. After a 3 resource investment and a card, that's dog water.
So right now, like, let's go back to this stat line. So this guy starts at with this stat line. He starts as a 4-3-5-2, which is 14 stat points. So it's 2 above the other starting things, right? But as soon as you play something, you go down by 1.
I think that we want him to have the 3 fist.
Yeah, I agree. 3 fist for sure. I think it's a question of like 3. Sorry. This should be 2. Back to this stat.
I think we could do 2 brain, 2 foot. But I think that having like 3-2-3-3 looks really awkward.
Yeah, this is the kind of like I like this for like once again to leave him kind of like as opposed to us just putting him into melee twice. He's like melee once, but you could still try to do some brain stuff with it as
fair.
well. Russell.
All right, that's fair enough.
Oh my god, buddy. Hey,
That's fair enough.
don't make me kick you out. This, I mean, Travis might just be thinking, Russ.
If we cut him out of level 0 or level 5 melee, you can't play Butterfly Swords 5.
I think that's okay.
Okay.
Because I agree just on the principle Bryn was saying, just thinking he can't take the Cyclopean Hammer because he's too cool that way. You know?
You can't play the Holy Sphere.
Russ, please don't eat the eraser. Jesus. You crushed it a bit. You're going so hard. Okay. Also, I should also just say for everyone watching this isn't set in stone. We're obviously gonna we're gonna do some testing with these guys as well.
This is it.
This is it. There's no changes.
No.
Okay. Ardeth Bay. Front's looking pretty okay.
No, I like the melee 0 to 4. I like the Mystic 0 to 3.
Yep. I like that as well. Let me look at
And
someone's
then
back
I think,
so I can
like,
see.
what kind of...
Splash, level 0 splash?
Yeah, it could be Guardian just level 0. It could be like Tactics 0 to 1. It could be like Tactic and Insight 0 to 1. Probably not Tactic and Insight, but... it could be like... He is missing a 5. A 0 to 5. Which probably, realistically, probably isn't an issue. But I don't think we want more than...
I mean, I think if he gets that extra level 0 splash, that kind of makes up for the 5, I think. Because I don't think Michael McGlenn has an extra...
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's
bit.
sake, Russell. Why are you like this?
Yeah, he just has that.
0 to 3, Rogue 0 to 5, and Firearm is either a trait or their tech spell. Yeah, okay.
So he gets Mystic cards.
With the little symbol in black brackets.
Yeah. Miss. Level 0 to 3.
Neutral cards 0 to 5.
Nero doesn't have a symbol.
We can do the melee with as their trait or in their text box so we can put like Grievous Wound and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I think it just makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it's just a couple of things in there.
or in text box 0 to 4.
And because that's all that Michael McGlenn has, do you want to just throw like up to 5 level 0 Guardian cards?
Yeah, I think that's fun. I think that,
A little bit of flexibility in the deck building there.
We could do that, or like level 0 insights.
I think tactics support better than the insights.
Yeah, but insights are things like you cannot kill the creature with mortal weapons.
Oh, it's the lore drop. It's lore drop, yeah.
Right. Like, it's not...
Yeah, sure, slap level 0 insights in there. Who cares what they do?
5 level 0 insights. Insights, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then we have to do his requirements as well, which we also got to figure out.
I mean, he's probably just like 30 cards.
No, 30 for... No, sorry, I meant like the his signatures. His signatures. That's
Oh, yeah, we want the bird.
The bird. I gotta find a picture of that bird.
Yeah.
Horus.
Yeah.
I think we can just make the card for now. I don't know what he's going to do yet. But...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not going to put in cards for any of the other stuff. Those are going to come later.
And his personalized weakness should probably have to do something with like his duty or his oath.
Yep. Or even, yeah, just like because constantly having to protect from the curses coming up.
Yeah.
Let's just go Ardeth's signature. All right. Cute bird. Neutral. And then level is none.
And maybe the weakness is something like sacred duty or some shit, and then it's like...
We have to figure out kind of what we want it to be before I make the card.
Attached to a like a treachery, you attach it to a location, and at the end of the phase, if you did not defeat an enemy at this location, you take a horror or something, or you take a direct horror or 2 horror. And if you do defeat an enemy, you shuffle it into your deck.
Okay.
Kind of like Call of the Unknown, yeah.
Call the Unknown type vibe. I think Horus... I mean, I guess if we're looking... I guess we have to figure out if we're going to do, like, top-down design or bottom-up design. Horus could give some sort of, like... top-down is like a bird. They fly, they can scout. That's what he does, right? He also delivers messages, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all he uses. Like, what he does in the movie is they send him to go talk to the other Magi.
Yeah.
What if he's, like... Well, if he's just, like, a 1-cost asset or something, or even if he's, like, permanent... And it's like lightning bolt. Look at the unrevealed side of a location. I mean, that's probably too good. We know that effect's too good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing this treachery design.
Like I was thinking, like a lightning bolt to let him take a free engage action or engage an enemy location.
That would be really nice.
Because he doesn't have like a ton of things he does in the story.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
it could also be like a reaction, like when an enemy would spawn engaged with another player, spawn it engaged with you instead.
Yep.
Yeah, we could do
like
that.
Non-elite, obviously, because otherwise that ruins things sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, his reaction, like you exhaust when an enemy would spawn engage with another player's or you can exhaust him to engage that enemy instead, and then also like as a lightning bolt, you can trade up to 2 resources with an investigator location or something for the messenger thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when an investigator location. So what if so it's like, so do you want to do the draw or like when the enemy's engaged with them? Because it's kind of the same thing, but it does open up different windows, I imagine. Potentially could. The drawing has a bit more of the scout vibe to it, so maybe that goes for this one because it feels like a bit more.
That also plays into the you can like that also opens up like a nice little suite of things you can play with some of the mystic deck manipulation stuff.
Yeah.
You can like scry and you're like, I'll take the brain test because I got a good brain. Then I'm gonna give you the enemy, but then when you draw the enemy, I take it.
So it just says when an investigator location draws an enemy, exhaust Horus. Has to be also non-elite. You're right, Bryn. Just because
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
You draw that card instead.
Yeah.
Nice and simple for that.
And then I think the lightning bolt to be able to trade like 1 or 2 resources with an investigator location, just so he also like does the thing.
Yeah. Exhaust full name. You may give 1 resource to an investigator
At your location.
Or vice versa, because he could give a message back to you, I think.
Yeah. They want it to be. It doesn't take up an ally slot.
I don't think it. I don't think
probably
it should.
not.
I think it should be cheaper. Sure, it should be a little more expensive for no slot though.
Yeah, I mean that's one. I think this kind of an effect is only like 2 or 3 resources tops.
I agree.
Yeah, I like 2 resources and then like 1 health, 2 sanity maybe.
Yeah, I like the soak too. Time to die to a realm of torment.
Yeah, I mean 1 health also like makes it so that he dies to that like arrows from the trees.
Yep.
And that's like
That's very fitting.
That's
Yeah.
the story
Yeah, this
this bird is trying to tell is that he's gonna get killed by arrows.
Why do you always kill me?
He needs subtypes too. You slap some ally and
Creature
on there. Yeah.
Nice. Keyword flying. Icons. I like going big for the icons you have here. So
I mean, like Brain Fist Wild.
that's what I was gonna say exactly. So I think that's really nice for that. I mean, that's a good signature. It's not like something it doesn't really enhance his game plan, but it fits with the flavor of the bird,
nice.
and I think
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, like, and you want to have it in play, but you're not like crippled if you don't.
Yeah. We could also make that idea for the Sacred Oath not even like to kind of work with this a bit. It could be also just engage an enemy, right? Like it could be that kind of thing as well. Because then that kind of like this essentially saves you an action if you have it in play, and that could be the kind of synergy that comes with it.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
What did you call this one again, Travis?
Oh, I don't know, like Secret Duty, whatever his thing in the movie is called.
Task. Same trait for sure. Rev. Attach. I guess we could just have it be once again.
Like it can be in your threat area.
Yeah.
And then just be like if you did not. Or at the end of the round if somebody else is engaged with an enemy.
Oh, that's interesting. So then it would be this, because this one checks choose a location other than as yours. So like yeah, you're kind of like you're the sworn protector. Like you are there to make sure that no one else is in risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Call it Magi Oath, I guess.
Oath of the Magi.
There you go.
So at the end of the enemy phase, if
If you didn't engage an enemy this turn.
if you didn't, yeah, but I was also thinking of the idea of that, like if someone else in your team had an enemy engaged with them as well, so like you're kind of protecting that sort of thing.
When your
Because that-
teammates had an enemy engaged with
So
them.
like if at the end of the enemy phase, like another investigator has an enemy engaged with them.
If another investigator at your location is engaged with an enemy.
I think just if any investigators engage with an enemy.
Yeah, like it doesn't necessarily have to be at your location, because then we can make the damage also like pretty small, because the triggering criteria is like difficult to avoid unless we have the dumb bird.
But it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it would need a passive effect on top of that, I think, because if there's ever no enemies in play, it still needs to have like something.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you just don't ever discard it.
Yeah, it just stays forever. So you're always thinking like once it's there,
Yeah,
it's
so
just
it's just
there.
like always a thing that it like changes the way you have to play the game now.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can put in.
Sure, why don't we do that? If you put like double action, shuffle it into your deck or something.
So if
So you can get rid of it if you absolutely need to, but spending 2 actions shuffling your deck sucks.
what if we also just did like oh, so I have another investigator. We also could just go like an investigator, because then it also affects him as well. The investigator like take 2 damage and like just I'm gonna just put the text for this shuffle.
I like horror more.
Okay, yeah, but that is the one that is his lower stats. You kind of want to do it quicker.
Yeah, it's also like he's failing to uphold his oath, right?
Yeah. The enemy imitates an enemy is engaged the investigator. Take 2 damage and shuffle Oath of the Magi into your deck.
Yeah, we could also be like, if an enemy is not engaged with an investigator, because like we're trying to chase down the guy.
Maybe.
Thing. But that's like a little bit jankier.
I kind of like just if an enemy is engaged with an investigator, take 2 horror, and then like double action shuffle it into your deck.
We also could try to go for like a Roland Banks type thing, where you have to complete a little mini game to get there. It could be like, while it's in play, you get -1 brain, -1 fist, and then like when you defeat an enemy, you put a resource on this card. When there's 3, you remove it from the game or something like that. It could be that kind of thing as well. Just give him like a big debuff for a bit while he's trying to deal with his oath in addition to everything else.
Yeah, we could do that. I kind of like that one is like -1 to brain and fist, and then like if you defeat 5 health's worth of enemy or something like that.
Yep.
Which you can kind of scum, but like whatever, I guess.
Yep.
Instead of that, we can just have this take up like a hand slot and
Oh yeah.
an
Arcane slot.
Oh, that's
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
It'll.
because like it's not an item that we control.
Okay, so sorry, I need to change it into an asset. Give me a second.
because it's in our threat area, not in our play area.
Yep. No, you're right.
Slot 1 hand, slot 1 accessory.
Arcane.
Thank you.
Well, no, this needs to go into your play area to take up slots, I think.
No, it doesn't,
Why not?
because other things.
Yeah, Dendromorphous goes into your
Do
threat
they?
area.
Yeah, like they don't need to.
Yeah.
Like Dexter's does, but that's because of how you get rid of it.
Okay.
Requires it to be in your play area to interact
Yeah,
with,
okay.
with your investigator box.
Sure.
I don't think the like that's like dumb little butterfly or the hand injury do either.
Oh,
Look at missiles.
I'm
I
not
can
sure.
check right now. I cannot. Those aren't in this binder. It's just gonna keep me together.
Nice try.
I'm sure there's one in here.
No, let's go into your threat area.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we want it
Does it-
cannot leave play except by, except when it has 5 damage on it. Reaction, so you can forget about it.
After the 5th is placed, discard it.
After
5th or
defeat
more.
an enemy.
Or whatever.
Place. Defeat an enemy. Place.
Place damage tokens on this.
Yeah,
until-
tokens on this.
Oh, it can't leave play while it has damage tokens on it. And you put in a play with 5, and then when enemies oh no, that's too much.
No, I think you're right. I think it's going to be quicker. Put it into play with your threat area with 5 damage on it.
That's how Necronomicon is templated.
It cannot leave play
While it
while
it has damage on
on
it.
it. Yeah.
Well, it has 1 or more damage on it.
After you defeat an enemy, remove damage tokens from this card equal to that enemy's printed health. I mean, that seems really clean.
Yep, I like that.
We still need like a rider on the reaction ability, I think. To
have it leave? Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's in our threat area, so we can't
Then
discard
if there is no damage on this card...
Then it says, then if Oath of the Magi has no damage on it, discard it.
Thank you. There's no damage on it. Discard it. Yep, still looks good too.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Most of these
and this still
weaknesses
plays
have a power
with like...
up, so.
Oh, sorry, we need to put on Horus that text. As Prince says, this has to be there.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
still one of my favorites. And we were looking at that one card, and you were like, no, this one, it has to be there. It's like it's not even there.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go away, and I don't want to see you ever again.
Can we have more subtypes?
Traits?
Yeah, more traits.
Yeah, of course, always. Okay. Put all the Magi into play. Your Confederate with 5 damage on it cannot leave play while it has 1 or more damage on it. And then after you defeat an enemy, remove damage tokens from this card. And then this is something too that when we test, we can see that like, oh, 5's too little, 5's too much. We can adjust that
I
pretty
think
easily.
Five's
like
like
the
probably
like
about
the
right.
template is good.
Yes, yeah.
I
It's
think
just
the part that might need to be jinked around is
just
like,
the numbers.
are the actual numbers hard enough
Yeah, yeah.
to matter?
Interesting. It's very interesting.
Because it does, like, if you have a two-handed weapon or two one-handed weapons or whatever, you'll have to throw one away.
Yep.
Which is, like...
Does that mean we can get
Kind of
access
real.
to the Chthonian Hammer then?
No. Because then he's a one-trick Ardeth. You know?
Not any more than the other.
So I
guy
guess the
over
question, Bren, because I know I have to ask: would you play Ardeth Bay?
I don't know, he's like purple.
Yeah.
So, like, probably not, honestly.
This guy's really cool. He's really good. Oh, so
Oh.
would you play him? No.
we don't need to have this card discard itself,
No?
because he could use his ability to discard
You'd
it.
have to add it to your play area then.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
No, you're right, Bren. Yeah, you're right.
Which is like doable. It's just like a change of a line of text.
Yeah, and
But it's not the way that most other.
I think we just stay
things
with
work,
consistency. Yeah, just to keep it.
It's like the only one that does is like that arcane scraps or whatever.
Yeah, the Dexter
it's
one.
Called. Yeah. But his specifically says you like it does something while it's in your hand and you can't play it except by doing
Yeah.
your thing. So I don't know. That one's like kind of janky. Like sweet, but. A lot of fun when your teammates are like, "Can you do this? You have 5 brand," and you're like,
So here's my to go back to this one. What if we'd had this go into your play area? We bumped it up to 6 damage, but then we made it so that he could discard it to his own ability. I think that is kind of cool.
"Could be done."
Yeah.
Because I like the kind of like with the Dexter. I think it needs
Yeah.
this needs to be nerfed to like a little bit from that, like up to 6. But then into your play area.
I honestly, I think it could probably exist at 5
Okay.
because
I mean, you are getting -1 to 2 stats as well.
yeah, you're getting -1 to 2 of your stats. You have to like do something else in addition to killing the enemy to get rid of it, whether that's like play an asset.
And then we can bump this off. Of that.
Because if it's in your player, you can just play an asset to choose to discard if it's got the damage on it, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, this one, it cannot with this one. It cannot leave while it has 1 or more damage on it, so.
Oh, sorry. If there is no damage, once you've like done the thing, you can just play a
Yes.
hand slot and
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Yeah, or with the intention with his ability.
Yeah, or you can get rid of it with his ability. And like, but you have to have an enemy. Like realistically, you're probably gonna have to kill 2 enemies to get rid of this with your reduced stats.
Yep.
And then, or you're gonna have to like work together with your teams to scum a victory enemy.
Yep.
So.
I think this is cool. Wow. Well, Ardeth Bay, you killed it, brother.
Easy.
Oh, and let me add this stuff. The shit that I need to add because it has to be there.
It does have to be there.
Horus, Oath of the Magi, 1 random basic weakness. Hell yeah.
Horus needs like a subtype too. Just slap like Ardeth
Loyal
Familiar on
Falcon.
it.
Loyal Falcon. Dies in Act 2.
It does do that. Of like movie 2 though, I think, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen the second one. You told me it didn't exist.
No, movie 3 doesn't exist.
Yeah, movie
is not
3
real.
is not real. It can't hurt you.
Yeah. Movie 2 still has some great
Movie
bits.
2's got like some like the whole bus chase sequence. Like
Yeah.
that's fun.
Did you find another trait you wanted to put on over the Magi?
No,
Yeah.
we're good.
Sweet. Well, that was pretty fun. I think we got a cool little guy to come out of this.
That was really fun.
So thanks for watching, everybody. Get ready, because we still got 4 more investigators we got to bring to the table here.
We're committed now.
I mean, we have to. We've done one of them, and
Yeah.
I made all the.
Yeah, you did all the cards. Yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta get the back picture in as well, but that's easy. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Huge thank you to all of our patrons. Where's that button? Here it is. You guys all rock. I'll have a link to getting this card so you can download it in our Patreon page for free. You can do that over there, as well as any updates that might come. I'll update that link as well. But thanks for watching. Bye.